Or if your listeners are out there, you want to start to say, okay, now what? Like kind of once you get over that shock that things are different now and figure out what's important to me. So to begin to reassess what your values are. What's important to me now? Like when my husband died, I had to decide like, okay, who am I on the planet now? What do I care about now that's not the same as when we were first together? It's not the same as when my daughter was born and we were together. Like so it's constantly reevaluating and clarifying your values so that you can then make good decisions, letting them lead the way.
Hi, and welcome to Fuel Radio. On the line with me today is Sally Jo O'Brien. Sally is a certified coach, a trainer, and a personal leadership mentor for mission-driven business owners and other humans who are up to big things. Welcome to Fuel Radio.
Hey, thank you, Rod. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So I want to get into some tips and some things that you specifically do for your clients. If you have something to share with us today, I think you're an awesome guest because you're helping people do exactly what we're talking about on Fuel Radio and talking about a Wi-Fi business lifestyle. So what are some of the areas that you help your clients with, and maybe what's some advice that you can give to our listeners today about transitioning from the 9 to 5 and starting to work on their own?
Let's see. So a couple of things that I think people struggle with when they transition, if they know what they're transitioning to. I think there's two kinds of situations, right? Sometimes people are forced out of their job. They get laid off and then they have to say, okay, now what? And with a client like that, or if your listeners are out there, you want to start to say, okay, now what? Like kind of once you get over that shock that things are different now, and it's to start to figure out what's important to me. So to begin to reassess what your values are. What's important to me now? Like when my husband died, I had to decide like, okay, who am I on the planet now? What do I care about now that's not the same as when we were first together? It's not the same as when my daughter was born and we were together. Like so it's constantly reevaluating and clarifying your values so that you can then make good decisions, letting them lead the way. So that's one. And
in your case, and probably in a lot of people's cases, they don't necessarily, it'd be nice if we all had this nice, smooth transition, but I mean, in your case, you were forced to evaluate and figure it out. Hey?
Yeah. And then people that get laid off, or they have to move or whatever, those are really big changes. And then the other is, I think is a thing that I've come to realize with clients, and talking to friends and colleagues, is that you don't realize how the rituals that you're used to at your old situation, your job, kind of go out the door if you start to work from home. So to create new routines and rituals for yourself and structures that will support you to get work done. And sometimes it's really just a lot of it is being around people that moves you moves momentum forward. And so putting structures in place for you to do that, where maybe you check in with somebody in the morning that's like-minded, or I know a colleague who every morning she texts the 3 things she's going to get done to another, supporting friend, and they just, text back a thumbs up. So it's just that someone's kind of witnessing that you're getting that done today, that sort of stuff. So rituals and structures, God, figure out how you can get and stay and be organized, or be and stay organized, I should say. There's, exercises to come up with, what do you think? Here's an exercise that your listeners can do. It's like think of a teacher that you either loved, and what did you love about them? They were, or a coach, a teacher, or like a baseball coach, or a coach that you had growing up. What did you love about them? Or if you didn't like them, were they shaming? Were they different? Did they make you feel bad about your ability to not hit a double or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or were they encouraging? Did they see you for did they push you beyond what you thought were your limits? That kind of thing. And so, or think of a character in a book that is a hero of yours, and what are the characteristics of that person, and that will help you start to kind of mine for values, as we say. Another a really fun one that I did the other night at a workshop was to name, if you were to star in your own award-winning television show, what would be the name of the show, and why would viewers tune into it? What value would they get out of it? Boy, was that fun.
Yeah, I bet. That's a great way to do it.
And so those are just ways to, to mine for values.
So do you have, not to put you on the spot, do you have a client story, like someone that you can tell us about that you've worked with that maybe applied these, the couple of things that you're talking about, values and rituals and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I do. I have a couple, but one that comes to mind, I had a client who really, really was longing to be more visible in her business. She wanted to get out there. She realized that she was really hiding in a way that was not serving her, nor was it serving her business. And she had once we kind of dove deep over a while, it turned out that she felt like there were things about her that if people knew them, they wouldn't like her, or they wouldn't accept her. They would think poorly of her. And it's like, well, welcome to the human race. We all have, everybody has something like that. And so once we started to explore what that was about, and she ended up being brave enough to actually share that with a group of people that it was safe to share it with, it not only, so that was what I would call like a brave micro step, she created more trust with those people that were really important to her, and she felt bigger, she felt seen and heard, and it just changed the relationship, and she became braver. And so she was able to do things like that as time went on, and be seen in arenas where she was afraid to before.